Welcome to the Young Money Podcast.
Welcome to the Young Money Podcast.
My name is Vince Galanco from wininmanila.com.
And my name is Diana Menezes, and we are very excited to have you with us today because we have very interesting guests every week. But this guest for today will make you hungry. Will make you hungry. One of my favorite foods kasi is Korean food. Ngayon, we will have the celebrity resto home of the stars. So the CCYG Unlimited Korean Barbecue is located in Quezon City. So very close siya sa mga TV stations here and in the Philippines for the ones watching us all over the world. And we are interviewing now one of the owners, the owner of the QC branch here. And they won actually awards. So I would really like to talk to him because they survived through the pandemic and everything. And that's outstanding to me. They also won the Asian Sterling Award, the most outstanding Korean specialty restaurant award. So that's great. So now we welcome natin si Jose Sacramento to the show. Jose, welcome to the show. Good
Hello,
morning. Good
guys.
morning.
Good morning to each
Morning.
and everyone. Thanks for having me here, mi amiga Diana, and of course Ben. How are you?
Yes, we're
Thank you for
good.
joining us. Diana gave
Yes.
a very, very short intro of you. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about yourself, your background.
Please.
Oh, yeah. Uh, I am an entrepreneur, of course, with the industry of F&B, and I chose the Korean culture to be able to expand my horizon. Kasi little did you know, I'm just a server. It was 1998 in Hard Rock Cafe. I'm just an
Oh,
ordinary server for the star, especially for Rosana Roses. She's very, very close to me right now. And
wow.
eventually, I made a lot of things to change my life and became an owner. That's it.
So that's a
Amazing.
great story. So, how did you go from server to owner of your own
You know,
restaurant?
little did I realize that I'm going to be serving my own restaurant because I was one of the top employees in Hard Rock Cafe during that time. But eventually, I've been through a lot. I've been to British Red Cross, Philippine Red Cross construction, and I have my own brokerage during that time, customs brokerage. Then I made it a little bit good and saved a few bucks for me to own my own celebrity samgyeopsal.
So,
And
yeah, so,
go
oh, go
ahead.
ahead, Diana. Go ahead.
No, I'm just interested. Like this is such a great concept to start your network with people that are publicly known because then, diba, they will be your own advertising agency, kinda.
That's true.
Diba?
That's true. Even you, when we met, suddenly we became a magnet of you, of course,
You
because
know how we got
our store.
close actually was when he was doing some charitable stuff for pandemic. He was giving food away
Yes,
to a lot of people, feeding people, and then he invited me, and I said, "Yeah, definitely. Like I'm neighbor."
that was our anniversary about a year ago. It was
Yeah.
December 8th. The restaurant was dedicated to open for Immaculate Conception. That's why you're there.
Yes. Sige, Vince, go ahead. I cut you off, kanina.
So
Go
yeah,
ahead.
can you give for our listeners? Can you give more concrete steps? Like, do you have a certain percentage you were saving every month? Um, yeah, I guess it's an early show me the money, but yeah, because you said you were saving money every month to start your own business. So,
uh,
can you give us more concrete? Because that's very vague. Yeah, I save money, then I open my business. Like anyone can say that. So, can you give us a bit more details on that?
you should not stop in dealing or trying to be in a way of negotiating some transactions in a one field. Like for example, I have my own brokerage, and then I'm doing some negotiation for the construction, and I'm doing some other stuff like networking, MLM. So these figures adds up to my savings. Like for example, I'm gonna do like 80% of what I my profit goes from my wallet on each of the field that I am into.
Like an
So
investment.
basically like that. And then my lifestyle, I just live a simple life. I don't own a very big, luxurious car. Just an easy car, happy car, so things like this.
Yeah. And you started this pandemic time, ano?
Yes, yes, yes. We started December 8, 2019, and then January came the Taal volcano, and then February, it was a there have been a rumors about the Wuhan collapse, and then March 16, boom, we suddenly
Close.
closed, and then we were closed about 6 months, and these are the stories that I really cannot forget. During those 6 months, I've been paying rent and then utilities without really opening up. I'm paying like 50,000 for electricity bills alone. And then we
Wow.
open up in the mid of October and November. There was no soul eating in the restaurant because it was really hard lockdown. And it
Mm-hmm.
made me a little bit depressed because every day on a daily basis, my sales is just 2,000 pesos, 3,000 pesos. And I was just saying, oh God, why you gave this business to me? Because, talo pa ako ng magbabalot or a sari-sari store, it seems, di ba? But
Mm.
December came and then another story of lockdown again in March and then July. So, you know, guys, the greatest thing that I have right now is to be thankful that we are still open, and
Yeah.
a lot of establishment really been affected, especially the industry of F&B.
And you were
And
helping pa.
can you
Yes,
talk
yes, yes.
about can we talk about details? We need yes, it's great you're open. But for our listeners, what were some things you did to stay open? How did you go through the tough times?
Well, for one, there are celebrity friends who are helping us, without really asking them too much of them because people when the pandemic came, everyone was so helpful with each other. So it's very easy for me to say, can you blog us? Can you do a small video for us inviting people? And then we would do promos, of course. And of course, my secret is that Diana knows this. I am personally serving the customer.
Yeah.
So I'm a hands owner. I am there every day.
Hands-on
I
siya.
would
Like
treat everyone with VIP alone with my service.
you
Just
get into the
because that's who
restaurant.
I am. I've been a waiter.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
I
Okay, so a little hands on.
I felt that vibe. So I think what Vince wants to know more is so during the 6 months that it's closed and it's making about below 5,000 a day, which is not the amount that you want to make every day, sempre to survive. How did you do it? Like, did you have to just spend your own money to keep your own business?
Basically, yes, because
Mm-hmm.
during we have to understand that during that time, everyone is not allowed to go out.
Yeah.
Everyone, even personally, you're gonna be afraid of meeting friends, relatives, even your mom. It's really very,
Yeah.
very hard. It's coming out from your pocket, from your savings. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. That's cool. And then, for example, I want to know now. I want the listeners to get a grip on is how amazing na ako kasi na amaze ako on how you were serving people that you knew, and then you shift into owning your own restaurant, and then you were able to bring that same crowd to your restaurant. How did you do that? Like
You
how does
know,
someone
sabi
get
nga
into that?
in Tagalog, bilugang mundo. I didn't
Correct.
realize that all my skills are gonna be very, very effective because who I am. When I see the floor, during the time that I was still an employee of Diamond Hotel, in Saipan, all of the hotels that I have been to, I
Mm-hmm.
realized na yung skills ko masyado kong napagyaman. I mean, when I look at the table, there's the difference between the waiter and the server. For me, the waiter is then when you wait for the customer to just to raise their hands and they say, ito kailangan ko, that's the waiter. But when you say about the server, you said that pagkakita mo pa lang ng table, when you browse the table like that, alam
Mm-hmm.
mo na kung anong kailangan niya. So I would automatically give into whatever they need. And aside from that, there's a personal touch. You have to be sincere
Yeah.
of what you do. You have to connect with them. So the restaurant right now, CCYG Quezon City is a celebrity restaurant. But
Mm-hmm.
I am seeing to the point that hindi to yung pang-artista lang. Everyone is celebrity inside the store. You are
Mm-hmm.
being treated as such. Hindi to yung tipong, si Diana Meneses kasi yan eh. Kasi you're serving her because she's popular. She's gonna endorse you. No, no, no. It's not that. Because for me, as a customer, I would go to the store. I wanted to be comfortable.
Like
You
a
know, there's
VIP
the
treatment.
impression, for
Yeah.
example, I'll give you a very detailed example. Kakain si Vince and he would see the restaurant, yung staff nakasibangot or
Mm.
not doing anything at all, not being mindful. Imagine, papasok ka pa lang ng restaurant, you have the first impression without eating the food na, wow, hindi maganda rito. So it's not about
Mm.
the food at all. It's about the service, the sincerity. That's the formula that everyone should know.
Nice. And then like how did you choose? You handpick talaga Korean. Is that your favorite?
Uh, because it's like this, I have a mentor. Very,
Mm-hmm.
very, he's like my tatay. He's a Korean Filipino public figure here in the Philippines who taught me charities. Once been an employee of him, J. Jang. He once been a president of the United Korean Association of the Philippines. So basically, he introduced me to this stuff. So when I decided also to get the franchise in the South Korea,
Mm.
I tried to get his personal advice. Tatay, I'm gonna get this Korean. Can you check it out for me? And even me, I went to Korea for about a month or two and then trained them.
Wow.
So tinignan ko talaga how big they are, how competitive they are. At
Mm.
to my heartfelt satisfaction, natuwa ako. That's why I bring the Korean franchise here, SY franchise.
Okay, so for listeners who want to start their own restaurant business, can you walk us through what they need to do to start their own restaurant?
First of all, there are two things that you should be mindful. Okay, to consider. One, kaya mo ba on your own your brand, or are you dealing with the franchise? Because when franchise, you're going to deal about partnership, of course, and there are royalties to consider. Yung maintenance na yan for the people to know, and all of the dishes needs approval for the franchise. Ngayon, if
Mm.
you're going to go on your own, okay, that's the consideration. Kaya mo ba to fulfill the brand? Like for example, if you're doing a Filipino dish, marunong ka ba like Kapampangan dish? So importante for us as a businessman is the location. Kahit gaano kasarap yung pagkain mo, okay, if your location is not good, ano na yan? Minus na kagad factor na kikita yung restaurant mo. Okay?
Mm.
Pangalawa, if you'll be able to establish your restaurant, your brand, okay, get training. Kailangan mag-train ka to know the in and outs of the restaurant. Ako, on my own, hindi ko sinasabing I don't need training, but I was there from washing the dishes na naintindihan ko hanggang naging parang ako na yung general manager right now. And
Mm.
then consider the capital, the ROI. Because kung, for example, magpa-franchise ka, if you're doing it on your own, okay guys, bilangin mo na, magkakano ba yung food cost mo, yung rentals mo, utilities, kusa, and everything, as against yung utilities, as against dun sa food cost mo, at saka dun sa kikitain mo. Usually, for the people to understand, for example, kung ang dish mo is 100 pesos, more or less, rough estimate is 30% ang kita ng restaurant. So it means, against from the gross, 30% ang matitira sa'yo. So you have 30 pesos. So ganun
Mm-hmm.
lang kasimple. Pero you have to mend all of the cost the whole time. Kasi there are days like, for example, Monday, it's not so good. Monday blues, we call it. Nako-compensate naman ng ibang araw yan.
Ah. I have a question now. I'm curious lang para sa mga gusto mag-open ng franchise. Kasi ako mismo, meron akong nag-start na business na franchise din siya. And then, pero I created my own franchise with someone else, like a business partner. And then, we made our own franchise instead of getting the franchise of somebody. But I also got approached to open a franchise of a Korean also, but not Korean food, not competitor sa'yo. It's a
Yeah.
different type of food. It's like, delicacies and other stuff. And then I was like, oh my God, but I just opened one franchise, like, franchise ko na. Alam mo yung ganon? Now I have
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
but you know why I liked it? because then I know the dynamic of being on the side of being the person who makes the franchise and being the person that acquires the franchise, so I can feel how a person would feel when they come to work with me. Parang ganon.
Yes.
So I think it's important to put ourselves on the
Well,
shoes
one
of
thing that
others.
I could share with you guys when it comes to franchising, let us be truth about this. Pag nag-franchise ka, marami kang matututunan.
Yun.
Okay? Because there are
Mm.
trainings, there are stuff that they will provide na hindi natin na-provide ng tayo lang. There are support. But of course,
Mm.
sabi ko nga, depende yan doon sa franchise na pipiliin mo. If they have a back office to support you, how big
Mm.
they are because sometimes let's be honest, like for example, if you're franchising one tapos nakapagpirma ka lang and they're getting royalties, wala nang maintenance, wala nang everything the checking. The time eto, I'm very fortunate for my franchise because during that time na walang pandemic, they've been here to support me. Chine-check nila yung pagkain namin, yung quality and the maintenance of the store. So these are the things that they need to consider. Hindi lang yan na pumirma ka ng franchise tapos iiwan ka
Correct.
nila in the
That's
end. You know that well. You know that well. So that's very,
that's a
very
good tip.
important.
That's a good tip. Kasi 'di
So,
ba,
yeah.
kailangan talaga ng
Para
parang
sinabi mo na, bakit pa ako nag-franchise? Ako naman
correct.
pala lahat yan.
True,
Nagbabayad
true.
lang ako sa inyo. Okay. So that's the
Correct.
difference.
So I
Okay.
think Vince wants to get into the money side of
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Like
Show me the money.
Yeah.
So can you talk about like what should the ROI be? How long? Did you, if you're okay to talk about it, or at least how long should people look to ROI?
Okay.
And what
When
roughly is a
when
rough
when I had a
capital?
franchise, the CCYG, which we have 350 stores in Seoul, South Korea, so I was a little bit impressed. So I went to my accountant, the financial advisor, and then nakita namin in about a year dapat ROI na siya. Okay, but
mm,
you have to understand, dumaan nga tayo ng pandemic, so
pandemic.
we're still in the process of getting back. Usually for a business, whatever, like for example, mineral water, the mineral water, usually ang average ng ROI is about 2 years.
2 years? Is it?
So, okay yon. That's the average. Every business, if you have a capital. Now sa amin, okay, I can tell more or less nag-franchise kami ng store mga 10 million.
Hmm.
10 million
Wow.
siya. So, doon
Mm-hmm.
sa aming calculation, dapat maibalik na yung capital mo, ROI or break even in 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
Yan, ganun siya kabilis because there are calculation like for example kami, we are Korean unlimited, so everybody is eating. But of course, you have to understand, hindi naman yan lahat kakain lahat. There are
Correct.
small stomachs within
Like
the store.
me.
But there are also, yeah, yeah. But there are also people like the Filipino culture. This is funny. If you say like, for example, you go to a buffet, like for example, 800. Oh, nakain ko na 1,000, bawi na ako. So that's what we are.
May mga kliyente na parang gutom na gutom. Sige na, I didn't eat the whole day. Punta ako dyan for dinner. Ganon, oh my God. Busog ka agad, pero kakain naman ng unlimited, di ba? Pero yeah, that's a good tip naman to give us. And also, do you think, I'm not gonna ask you that's so personal na because dumaan ka na sa pandemic eh. But you think your ROI will be, sige nga, tanungin ko na lang, ikaw na Vince, like if the ROI is already back, no na, not yet, kasi dumaan tayo sa
Almost,
pandemic.
almost. Kasi nga,
Or
because
blessing.
anong tawag doon? Sarado bukas, close open yung restaurant, and there are
Mm,
a lot of things to consider. But we're still there. We're still there. We're still keep on fighting. Sabi nga nila, the one who's gonna be left standing are gonna be stronger, di ba?
Nax.
For your 10M capital, how big is the restaurant and how many employees? How how many months can you survive with that with no earnings?
Basically, 10 million is just a rough estimate. It's, little did I realize because sabi ko nga, this is too funny for me. When I say, for example lang, if one would say, magpa-franchise ka ng Korean, like for example, it's just about 6 million. So sabi ko, wow, okay na, pwede na 6 million. But
Mhm.
hindi mo ma-realize until you're gonna be there. Like, for example, you need a security deposit for the rental, like two
The
million.
rental.
And then you're gonna bring aircon, which is million also. And then you're gonna bring the product inside you. So, yun ang rough estimate is 10 million. So, when you say, pa nag-franchise ka ng 6 million, kasama lang yung construction probably, kasama lang yung mga gamit, and then the trainings, and then the support that they will give you. So, yan.
Mm.
Yun yung detailed ano niyan, tips diyan.
Nice,
So
nice.
for example, as I was saying, as I was pointing, so pag sinabi sa yung ganito, like for example 5 million, huwag mo
Mhm.
isipin 5 million because yung mga business permits mo pa. So you have to think in advance, okay? So of course, pangalawa riyan, you have a buffer of your own. Like for example, yun nga, 6 million, I should be putting in 2 million more because there are things, factors to consider para ma-sustain mo yung business mo. Kasi if you're gonna think like 6 million lang ang kailangan mo at yun lang ang paiikutin mo, eventually may hirapan talaga yung business.
Oh,
Now,
may
when it comes to
kulang.
staff, dati nung nagsisimula kami kasi maganda yung reception sa amin. I have like 30 staffs. Ngayon mga
Mhm.
15 na lang because of the pandemic.
Yeah, yeah. What about like on a normal day na hindi pandemic? Now I'm very happy na I'm not sure kung kailan exactly this will be out, but by the time this is out and also today by the time we're taping this, it's already alert level 1, which is woo!
Yes,
Babalik na
it
tayo
is.
ko
Yes,
sa
yes, yes,
dati.
yes.
I
Yes.
know that Vince can totally relate. He also owns a franchise restaurant here, like Wolfgang. So it's also the same thing when you have
Wow!
yeah,
Wow!
it's cool.
I dream of eating in Wolfgang.
Tara ka! Anytime. Ito,
Picture lang, no? Yun
one
lang ang
of these
pwede kong
days.
gawin doon.
Grabe siya, no? And then, like on a normal day na hindi pandemic, how much someone who's opening a Korean restaurant franchise that, is worth 6 to 10 million in terms of cost, how much do you think they will expect to earn daily? If, syempre pag pandemic, mga 2, 3, 4, 5,000, ganun. But pag hindi pandemic at medyo nagbo-boom yung
Okay.
business,
On a normal basis, sabi ko nga, if you have a sales of 100,000, so basically from 30% or even 20, you have 30,000 every day.
mhm,
So that's the way it's gonna be played. So
I see.
30%. Usually yun lang doon naman naglalaro yan. No, ganun
Nice.
kasimple.
Bongga. Do you also have online? Is it available on
Yeah,
mga,
we have online
yeah?
deliveries. You mean online deliveries? Yeah, we have
Yeah.
Grab, we have everything. And
Oh, that's
even me, I
good.
am personally taking orders and then I will see to it that everyone is taken care of at least kahit sa phone.
That's a good tip, no? Na you'll check also kung ako mismo yung customer ng sarili mong business. How am I being treated? That's a really good tip. I'm gonna do my key points for now because we're reaching like it's so fast. Ang sarap ng usapan pero
Yes.
we have like a limited time here. But don't worry, I'm gonna see you later. I'm gonna pass by the restaurant today after the recording, after all my tapings.
Wow!
Yeah, I told you, I promised you. Ito. So guys, to everyone listening to us right now or watching us via video as well bukod sa mga platforms that we are streaming Young Money Podcast. If you're interested in having a Korean franchise or any restaurant franchise, Jose Sacramento is one of the people that I would say if you want to know how to do these things, kausapin niyo siya because he really started from being there as a server in other restaurants before he merged into like being the owner himself. And I think his tips are really valuable, like making this connection with all your customers, especially if your customers are public people, because that will pay it off for you. I mean, it's not even something you do out of like, sige nga, kasi I can get something from this person. It's not like that. If you bring that vibe to your restaurant equally, there's no way nobody's gonna say, "Oh, I'm not going back there kasi kinausap niya ako." No, people want that. I think when we go out of our homes and we want to eat, we want to be treated like kings, diba? Syempre, nakaupo ka na dyan, and then the food keeps on coming, and then the owner is super bait. So my key points here would be like, Jose Sacramento opens CCYG, which is now an award-winning restaurant, and he started from 1998 as a server in Hard Rock Cafe, made enormous connections, even with the Rosana Roses. Also, Yeon, I feel like whenever you do a franchise, if you guys are listening and watching us right now, look for partners because it's not easy to do it on your own, and you will need support. And also, always make your restaurant a place where people feel like I want to go there, not just for the food, but for the vibe. I think that's the most important. And of course, if you guys are looking for what to make money, remember the 30% rule, the 30% ROI rule. So always try to do like 300% of your sales so that you can get more than 30%. You get 90. So yeah, so that's it, I think, for my key points. And Vince, I'm sure you have this money questions as you always do.
Yeah, just your socials. How can people reach out to you?
We're on Facebook, of course. Uh, CCYG Quezon City and Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Same. So that's where
Yep.
gonna be.
What is it again? Say that
And
one more
then
time.
uh,
CCYG on
CCYG
FB.
Quezon City, both on Instagram and Facebook. But before we go, I just forgot to tell. We
Mm.
won in the second consecutive year as the best Korean restaurant for the People Choice Award by the
Oh, wow.
Resto.ph. Yes.
Nice.
Okay.
Congratulations. All right. That's nice. Thank
Congrats. And
you.
thank you so much for joining us and for the tips for our listeners who are also hoping to start their own restaurant. And yeah, we'll be checking out your restaurant soon. Diana, please send me some food later.
Yes.
Yes, I will.
Again.
We will. Don't worry about it.
All
A
You
right.
done
will.
deal.
Thank
Thank,
you.
thank you again on behalf of
Thank
our
you,
guest.
guys. See you
My name is
later.
Thank
Vince
you.
Bye.
from
Kamsahamnida.
wheninmanila.com.
I'm Diana Menezes, and we will.
This was the Young Money Podcast. We'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.